All right, let's try this again. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Collins from Collins on the Rocks. I hope you had a great week. Thank you so much for the love and support for the last podcast. I loved having Jenny on the podcast, and I love interviewing boss bitches and ladies who are doing great fucking things. So this week's Carcast, or a podcast in a car, is going to be me kind of talking about my feels. All right, before you tune out, before you click away or do whatever, I just want to let you know I am so appreciative of all the support for the podcast and the vlog and every project that I've ever done. Like, I really am, truly. But I'm still a fucking human being, you know? I still feel things in my soul. So when you produce product and when you produce something that you want people to look at and go, you know what, great job. Like, I love people telling me that I'm doing a great job. So when you're posting a product and you're seeing that people are listening to it, seeing that people are watching your videos or, you know, watching your Instagram stories, but they're not having a conversation when I've invited you to a conversation. And then when I ask people, why don't you participate? People don't have anything to say, or they say, oh, it's kind of a controversial topic, so I didn't really pay attention, or I didn't really take the time. I get that. And I really wanted to make this Carcast. I didn't want to wait to process it. I just want to let you know up front, I am embarrassed of who I've been in my life. That's the reason why we change. I'm embarrassed because I've been so overtly out there and so vulgar, and I know I purposely have said things to either make people uncomfortable, or just for the sake of getting noticed, or just for the sake of being controversial. I know my first couple podcasts, I talked very overtly sexual, to the point that I might have alienated some people from my podcast. I only mention this because one person, and I know, like, it's just one person, but one person told me that they don't like any of my projects because I'm so open about my sexuality that it doesn't come off as being confident, but it comes off as being cocky. No pun intended. But I don't ever want to appear that I'm being overtly in your face, or I'm being overtly rude, or I'm being overtly crass for the sake of attention. I don't ever want to come off that way. And if I ever do, just let me know. That's why this is a conversation, and I'm constantly asking you guys for your opinion, for your input, for anything. I literally cannot do this podcast without any of you, because this is my art. This is what I want to do with my life. I want to produce art, whether I get paid for it or not. Like, this is how I want to express myself. And I think we as people have every right to express ourselves how we want to be respected and trusted. And what I want to be known for in this world is not for being crass, not for being rude, not for being offensive, and oh, that girl that always talks about sex, or oh, that girl that always has clickbaity titles. I don't want to be known for that. And I am, at this point, 16 episodes in, 17 episodes in, I'm actually kind of embarrassed of my first couple episodes. And it's not because my co-host was wrong, or, brought that out, because she and I we're kind of gross. Like, we talk about gross but real things. But I never want to alienate myself from my viewers and my listeners, because you guys are why I do this. Like, your constant encouragement really spurs me on, and I know I shouldn't always just do it for your recognition. But if I'm not talking about these things, and I'm not talking about depression, and I'm not talking about sexual assault or, what have you, all the topics that I've discussed, then who is talking about it? I think being a woman right now in 2018 is really tricky, because you have to border on the line of being a little bit PC, but also you have to be true to yourself. It's not a gimmick. It's not me fishing for compliments, but sometimes I just feel like I don't matter. Like I'm in a glass container, glass bowl, glass fish, I don't know. I just feel like people use me to watch me, and people just watch what I'm doing on Facebook, watch what I'm doing on Instagram, watch what I'm doing online, and they don't actually care about having a conversation with me. That I'm a topic of conversation for other people, but I feel like I'm left out. I don't think that's correct in my brain. I know logically that that's stupid, and I need to be less critical of myself, but it's so hard to feel like my artwork and my whole thing, everything, that it matters when I don't get that much engagement, or I get like 1 or 2 people engaging, but I know that hundreds of people are watching me every single day. I see it in my Instagram stories. I see it on Facebook in reacts. I see it in my videos. I know that people are listening, and if you're one of those people that has never participated and, doesn't really come out, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my content, or watch me on Instagram, or look at my life and just stay on the outer circle. I want you to know that you matter to me, and I never want to alienate any. God dang, I never want to alienate anyone, because I am who I am, I know that I am of a certain breed, and I know that I'm really offensive because I'm so blunt. I don't know how to be anything else than myself. But it's so hard to be yourself when you feel so alone, I was not planning on crying. I definitely did my makeup. So yeah. I'm not editing this at all. You guys are going to hear the awkward silence, and I hope you're okay with that. But I want you guys to know that I'm going to do my art, and I'm going to do my podcast and my vlog on my own schedule, on my own time. I'm going to try to keep myself accountable with, coming out on Fridays. But you guys have been so encouraging all along the way. You've been so wonderful, posting and sharing and liking and subscribing. Like, even one person, like, even if I just impacted one person, I think I'm hypercritical of myself, and I feel like I'm alienating people because I see people watching my Instagram stories, and I see people watching my content online, and I never hear from those people. So I just feel like sometimes maybe I'm not enough, or maybe I'm lacking something. But I'm very critical of myself because I know that I've intentionally been an asshole in my life. Okay. I also want to address another thing. Now, I talked about an ex-boyfriend in the beginning series of my podcast. We called him Xbox Guy. That's just who he is. I'm not going to name his name, but I do really feel guilty because I talked shit about him on the podcast. Granted, I feel like he deserves someone to talk shit about him because he thinks he's perfect. But I regret not telling him that the podcast was going to come out, because I feel like if he had the opportunity to have a conversation with me, I feel like it would have been handled a little bit better on both parts. But he's so fucking full of himself, and he thinks he does nothing wrong, but he thought he was being so detached when we were dating. And I've even seen comments, from memories past of what he said to me and the conversations we've had when we were together. And they're so faux detached. Like he doesn't want to be attached for the sake of not being attached. And I don't think it's fair to him to air my relationship online. But I don't know any other way to process it. I've processed it to the bone in therapy, and I don't know why I can't get it out of my head. Probably because there was like zero closure on it. Even when we said we were having closure, there's just no closure for that chapter. But it's something I really regret about this podcast. And the day that my podcast debuted, he unfriended me on Facebook. And I'm not sure if it's because a mutual friend told him that I was talking shit about him, or if he independently listened to the podcast and deleted myself and Sammy. So I feel like I burned the bridge, not thinking that it would burn to the ground. And I ended up blocking him because it hurts me. It hurts to know that I probably hurt someone. But I don't want any possibility of him ever talking to me again. I don't have any romantic feelings towards him. I wish him well in his life. It didn't work out for us because it would probably never work out for both of us. And I would be in so much pain even if we were together. Because I need constant communication. I need constant interaction. I don't know, like, even though you like someone and you're so attracted to that person, there are parts of people that can be ugly and turn everything sour. And I really believe that that's what happened. He did not want to be in a relationship, but he was so attracted to me and I was to him. But he didn't want to have commitment, and he saw me as a commitment, or probably saw me as a burden. And probably saw me as something he didn't want. And that's okay. Like, you don't need to be with me. I'm currently with someone who makes me so happy. I often feel like I don't deserve him, He's so vibrant and so alive. And he constantly lets me know that he loves me. And it's everything that I didn't get from any previous relationship, And he supports my creative shit. Like, he's a wonderful man, and I don't want to lose him. So yeah, I regret talking about Xbox Guy. I really regret how I started my podcast being so crass and so alienating, because I never want to alienate people, I always want to be true to myself, and I always want to find the best in people, and I always want you to know that you're not alone. You know, you're not alone in this life. That's why I have podcasts and vlogs and everything. Like, that's why I'm so vocal, is because I wish that someone had told me that I was not alone, you know, during those times that it's so hard. But it's okay to be yourself and crying in the car on your way to wherever you're going. I hope you guys forgive me for how I treated you guys, my listeners. I hope you don't feel like I've ever alienated you or forgotten about you, because I haven't uploaded on time, or I haven't spent my time editing or doing whatever. I want to make this a serious thing, and I could see a potential career out of making podcasts and interviewing people. I'm such a curious person, and I love hearing other people's stories, and I love hearing how people are just killing it at life. Like, every person listening to this podcast has such like a cool life story, and I just want to hear about them. I want to experience them firsthand from you. And I think that's why I've always asked for more people to come on my podcast and talk with me and have conversation, because I think that that's like part of being a human, you know? Like, it's just part of being who you are, is to let people know your story and to let people know that you're not alone. Boy. All right, I need to fix my face. Guys, powder does an amazing thing. And I'm super into the Flower Beauty one. You can find it at Walmart. Is it at Ulta yet? I don't know. I got my Halloween costume this week. You want to say hi to the vlog, Penny? For those who can't hear her, she's whining because I am now at my boyfriend's apartment complex. She loves him so much. So I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna face my day, and thank you guys again for always listening and always being around and just supporting me, supporting bad bitches doing cool shit. Because really I could never do any of this without you. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/CollinsOnTheRocks. You can find us on Instagram at CollinsOnTheRocks. And you can email us collinsontherockspodcast@gmail.com. Guys, I want to do merch. Do you want to do merch, Penny? I want to do merch. If you come on my podcast, I want to give you a shirt that says I've been on Collins on the Rocks or something, but let me know what you guys think, and as always, be kind to each other. Alright, Penny and I are gonna go. See you later. Have a great week. Bye.